Yeah, and so there was this guy, my little brother and I were friends with these kids, like some of the only other like indigenous kids like around our age in Norman, Oklahoma. And they had this uncle, and he would get, he'd get loaded, and then he'd start like, banging on shit and screaming around. He'd start speaking gibberish. A lot of people assumed that he was trying to speak, his indigenous language, but a lot of times it was just gibberish. And
just fucking with people.
Yeah, just fucking with people.
Yeah.
And that he loved to do that. There were so many great stories about him fucking with people. It's great. But like he would corner you, at the party and just start telling you like just bullshit, just making shit up. He would say, I killed 30 white people. I had to. They told me to. Orders from above. It's like, okay, whatever. And then another one.
Above, like what? Like the CIA?
I guess so.
God?
No, not God, but like the government.
Okay. Oh, the government.
Yeah.
Okay.
And another thing that he would say was, and I got 50 kids from Canada to Mexico, from New York to California, and none of them love me. And if they don't love me, fuck them. And so, and there was this time that there was this dog in our neighborhood named Taco, like the dog Taco. And there was also Steven Seagal. Steven Seagal was like the grungiest, filthiest fucking, like he was just like this Saint Bernard kind of mutt.
Wait, this was a dog?
Named Steven Seagal.
Oh my God.
So there's Steven Seagal and there was Taco, and they would terrorize our neighborhood by knocking over the trash cans. They would dig in everyone's trash every time it was trash day. You got to drag the cans down.
Yeah.
You wake up the next day, no one picked your trash up because fucking Taco has strewn it all across your yard. And it was like that all over the neighborhood. And Steven Seagal. And so anyway,
tag team in the trash cans.
I know. So fucking, there was this night that my mom was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get these motherfuckers," and then she starts hearing some rustling outside, and she thinks, "Oh, it's gonna be Taco." So she goes out there, and then it's those dudes' uncle, and she's like, "What are you doing here?" And he just looks at her and goes, "Do you love me?" She goes, "I don't even know you," and then just goes back in the house and slams the door. And as she's walking off, she just hears him go, "If they don't love me, fuck them." It's fucking hilarious.
Oh, fuck, dude.
Yeah. R.I.P. Cub. My brother likes to do that to people too, except he fucks with people in like a totally different way. And he'll sit there and just bullshit someone just really hard. So
I know, you were telling me about your friend's uncle, and I was like, wait a minute, your brother does that kind of shit too. Is that where he learned it from?
Oh, no. That's just kind of one of his inspirations for perfecting that craft of fucking with people.
Oh.
And so
good role model.
So people would be like, "Oh, you're Native American, right? Can you speak anything?" And of course, he knows some words, and other indigenous languages, but just to fuck with people, he'd be like, "Oh yeah. So to say the word dog," and he would just spell it like D-O-G, but he'd pronounce it all like, like this. And he said, "That is a D-O-G." And they were like, "Oh, is that how you say it in your language?" He's like, "Yes, it's a D-O-G." And they're like, "Oh, so this is a cat. That's a C-A-T." It would just seriously fuck with these people. They would like do shit like they were at the ending clinic, they were just like going back and forth to each other. It was Tommy and oh God, I can't remember who it was, but it was one of those brothers I was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just like going back and forth saying, "I could feel the wind blowing my braids in two directions. I could smell the sage and the sweet grass." And they were just, just kind of just fucking around. So no, that it just turned into this whole thing. And at the end of it, you walk into the room and there he is just going, "And they gave the McGriddle to my people. And I told the white man, you can take our land, but you will never take our breakfast." God, he's too good at that.
Oh shit.
Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx. Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx. Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx. Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx.
Hi, my name is Sabrina, and New York style pizza is the best. Forget about it.
This is Matt, and Chicago style deep dish pizza is the best.
No way, dude. Anyway, this
is Sumo Punx.
Punx.
And you're wrong.
You're wrong. Chicago style is basically a fucking casserole. You don't know what pizza is with your Midwestern sensibilities.
But it's so hearty and so good. I mean, basically you're just folding a cheesy piece of newspaper into a fucking little bleh, and it's, yeah.
What, are you...
How can you get full on that? What's up with that?
Dude, have you seen a New York pizza? You can fucking cover up and survive winter
Who
with
has
those
time to
things.
eat a pizza as big as a trombone? Whenever you can have everything all nice and compact in a nice casserole.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Hey! Forget about it. We are back for week 2.
Week 2.
We just concluded week 2.
It
We had
was
a lot of ups and downs.
a lot of emotions.
Week
A
2.
roller coaster.
Yep, a lot of interesting things happened.
Lots of nail biting, lots of gnashing of the teeth, lots of crying and laying on the couch with my
rending. I don't know, what are some other biblical terms we can use? Lots of fire and brimstone.
girding of loins.
Yeah, lots of sacrificing of children to bears.
Throw these dudes into a lion's den.
Yeah, wait.
Wait, did they do that? Yeah, they did that. Anyway.
Well, the Romans, they were a bored people.
They were.
And they had to have their entertainment. They didn't have Netflix back then.
Yeah, they had gladiator flicks.
Yeah, they had...
Horrible public execution flicks.
Yeah, that definitely. They had bestiality flicks.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, you didn't hear about that? They used to keep geese in the brothels.
I don't even want to know. I just don't. No. Back to sumo. All right, so a couple of things happened. Ishiyora came back on day 12 and is promptly defeated by Takayasu. Chiyonokuni also came back on day 12 and got right to demolishing Koto Eko, and then he had that little strut.
Yeah.
That strut was great. He just, I saw a little bit of strutting.
Pleased with himself.
And rightfully so.
Yeah.
Even though he did lose the rest of the time.
Yeah, well, if you're injured and you got to sit out for a few days due to injury, when you come back, it's pretty much guaranteed you're going to...
And it kind of looked like Ishiyora might have been, kind of hurt, too.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that later.
Yeah. All right, well, we got a lot to cover, so let's go ahead and start talking about what's been going on in the past 7 days.
That's a lot of days. That's a lot of bouts. So we've trimmed everything down to who we find to be notable. And that's us, our personal opinion, because we're fans. So that's kind of who we stuck with. So first we have Juryo days 9 through 15. And we just picked a couple of Rikishi, the same ones we had from last week, Inho and Atami Fuji. And so we picked out a couple of pertinent. I wish you can't even see me making this little.
You're doing the
little Italian, the Italian chef's kiss hand gesture. So we got the cream. Oh yeah, the cream of the crop.
Thank you, Macho Man.
Macho Man
for
Dolph.
introducing these Juryo picks.
All right, so day 9 versus Ryuden. I know a lot of people really like Ryuden, but I just kind of have a distaste. But that's just me. Anyway, so
Wait, did we already mention we were going to talk about Inho?
Yeah.
Oh, we did. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Inho.
Sorry, I took steroids earlier.
She's got roid rage. See, I have hemorrhoids,
They
so
were
I have another
prescribed.
kind of roid rage.
No, you don't. You don't
Well,
have
not anymore.
hemorrhoids.
Not since I quit drinking.
I've been down there a lot. I know.
Okay. Enho, day 9 versus Ryuden. Enho comes in with the low tachi, but Ryuden was ready for him. Enho goes for a deep right insight belt grip, tries for a throw. Ryuden resists, and Endo's
Endo's not in this one.
Enho then tries
Endo jumps into the fight.
Yeah, Endo
and starts
jumps in
pounding on
from the
both of them.
turnbuckles. And then
Okay. Start over.
Okay, Enho comes in with a low tachi, but Ryuden was ready for him. Enho goes for a deep right inside belt grip, tries for a throw, but Ryuden resists. Enho then tries a leg trip, but Ryuden parries. Enho then gets low and drives Ryuden forward, and as Ryuden resists, Enho is like, okay, I'm tired of this shit, and slingshots Ryuden's ass across the dojo for a shitatsunage underarm throw.
A shit tatsunage.
Enho just slaying giants as usual.
Yeah, that was actually pretty fucking
That
cool,
was a good one. It was
honestly.
satisfying.
Then on day 14, Inho goes up against Tokushoyu.
Crybaby.
Tokushoyu has been through the Sekitori ranks for some years, and he seems pretty familiar with Inho's shenanigans. He kept Inho standing up and prevented him from getting low enough to attack. He manipulated Inho through a series of attacks and knocked his dick in the dirt with a Sukui Toshi thrust down. Nanasho Nanahai for Tokushoryu and 9 and 5 for Inho, who was already earned his Kachikoshi.
Yeah, that one was, I really like that one because you could tell they already were familiar. They've chewed some of the same dirt. Both of them had been up in Makuuchi and then back to Juryo again, so very familiar with each other. And then we have Atami Fuji, Chubby Cheeks.
Oh, Chubby Cheeks, baby.
I was rooting for Chubby Cheeks so hard, and I think I might have jinxed him. So we have Atami Fuji, day 12 versus Daishoho. Chubby Cheeks went into day 12 with the 5 and 6 record. He's been alternating between Beast from Hell and battling anxiety. I know that struggle. I do that too, so hang in there, buddy. He faced Daishoho on day 12. He had a solid Tachi and managed a left outside grip of Daishoho's Mawashi. He effortlessly charged ahead, executing a gorgeous Yorikiri force out.
Then on day 14 versus Sushi Manada. Well, I was pretty bummed about this one.
Yeah.
Right after the Tachi, little Chubby Cheeks attempted a power shove to Sushi's midsection, only to be slapped down in a powerful manner.
Yeah.
With Atami Fuji getting his Makikoshi and Sushi Manada getting his Kachikoshi.
Damn.
Yeah. Probably means it's back to Makushita for Atami Fuji, but now he knows what it is he's aiming for when he gets another promotion.
I know, it's like a salary, my own room.
And believe me,
Skip
he'll
it toes.
definitely be back to Sekitori ranks again.
Yeah, I
Pretty soon.
think he will.
The cheeks will be clapping furiously again. And we'll see a stronger and more composed Atami Fuji, I think.
Atami Fuji with his chubby cheeks about to clap everyone else's cheeks.
That was pretty much it for who we were following in Juryo. There was that whole Hiradomi versus Bushozan
Oh, that
thing.
brawl. They just beat the shit out of each other. That was pretty badass.
That was pretty fun to watch, for sure. And then this was also the tournament within which I realized that Yago looks exactly like Shrek.
He does. He was pushing people out. Get out my swamp. All right, so we're going on to the honorable mentions for the Makuuchi division. So first, we will start with Takakeisho. Our Karaban Ozeki Takakeisho, day 10 versus Takara Fuji. This bout was legs versus arms. Well, I guess arms versus arms, but Takakeisho knocked Takara Fuji back a couple of steps at the Tachi, and then they began a furious exchange. Takara Fuji parried thrusts and harite, and Takakeisho kept Takara Fuji from getting a belt grip. Their battle was dynamic as hell, and both Rikishi were all over the ring. Takakeisho gave a good Nodowa thrust to Takara Fuji's neck, which propped him up a bit, and then Takakeisho swung under his arms and grabbed his shoulder and brought him down with a Kateskashi win, taking a page out of Ura's playbook.
Fuck yeah, dude.
That was pretty badass.
Then there was Tochinoshin on day 11 versus Terutsuyoshi. There was a blunted, cushioned sort of Tachi as they clashed arms. Terutsuyoshi was trying to reach for a deep left inside grip. Tochinoshin was able to latch on with his favorite left-hand outside grip. Then Tochinoshin went for the Suridashi, but Terutsuyoshi pulled his center of gravity down and resisted. Tochinoshin reestablished his grip and then succeeded in lifting Terutsuyoshi up into the air and over the bales with a Suridashi lift-out finishing move.
Oh, man.
Classic Tochinoshin.
I saw that happening, and I was like, oh, poor Salt Bay. He's not going to like that. And then, yep, just lifted up in the air, kicking and screaming. All right, then we have Tobizaru, day 14, versus Kiribeyama. It was the Flying Monkey versus Elvis. I don't know.
I still don't get why people call him Elvis.
I've seen a lot of people call him Elvis. I didn't see it until it was
Apparently
pointed
it's a
out to
thing.
me. It is.
I guess. I don't know.
So, Kiribeyama had already earned his Kachikoshi, but Tobizaru went into the bout at 7 and 6, so he was hungry. Toby stayed low at the Tachiai. Kiri took the impact at an angle, and for a split second, it looked like that they were just slapping the hell out of each other's hands in a rage-fueled game of patty cake.
Stop it!
Tobizaru grabs Kiribayama's belt near the knot, and Kiri locks Toby's arm. They begin like a swaying dance of who can throw who with what, and then with Kiribayama bowing for some Kotanage attempts, Toby takes his underarm grasp on Kiribayama, shovels him out of the ring with an Oshita-oshi frontal pushdown win. So then Tobizaru had secured his Kajikoshi.
Good job, Tobizaru. Why can't I say anybody's name today?
I know, it's a thing. We're not editing that out. I was like this in the last
episode, too. No, don't edit out any of my fuck-ups of these people's names.
We'll get them right.
I want everybody who listens to this to be like, listen to that white girl trying to just pronounce those Japanese names.
We'll get it eventually.
I'll perfect it one day.
Bad gaijin accents and pronunciation. Whatever.
Also, let's not forget, Kota Nowaka did some damn fine sumo throughout this tournament. He actually looked like he may be a front runner there for a while, along with Wakatakakage and Takayasu. But those hopes were dashed on day 15 by Hosho Ryu.
Oh, Haas.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be one to watch out for in the next Basho, I think.
It was good watching him in this Basho, too. He was hungry. He was furious. He was, I don't know, the drive was there, but there was just a couple cracks in the techniques, it seemed like, But next time. Mitake Yumi also did really well in his first Basho as Ozeki, ending with 11-4.
Good job for your first tournament there as Ozeki, guy.
Yeah, that was a good debut. Double-digit wins.
Yeah. Well, now we go on to the exceptional Rikishi.
These are the ones that we were, wanting to keep an eye on. So I know a lot of folks like to do tournament coverage, day by day and do all the matches. We decided to kind of try and follow the Rikishi and just see kind of how their bouts meandered and picked a few really good ones. And so we're kind of trying to follow each individual Rikishi's path. So
the most notable from each week of the Basho.
Yeah.
And then, of course, overall.
Yeah.
So first we have Wakatakakage, day 9 versus Ichinojo. Ichinojo jumps in with a Harite slap upside Wakataka's head, but Wakatakakage moves with the force, sidestepping to his left. Ichinojo then tries throwing a flurry of Supari at him. Waka goes for the belt, but Ichinojo locks up his arms, and they just kind of stay locked up for a long time.
Like a couple of res dogs.
Honestly, big mistake on Ichinojo's part because it afforded Wakatakakage the rest that he needed to surge with explosive power forward with all his might into the towering Ichinojo, gripping his belt and driving him out of the ring. Wakatakakage looks utterly exhausted at the end, breathing heavily but clearly relieved.
That interview that they had right after that bout was great. He couldn't barely get in 2 words. He's just like, arigato gozaimasu. Poor guy. Okay, so day 11, it was Wakatakakage versus Takayasu. Ooh, holy shit.
Takayasu knows how to party.
This was fucking exciting. Both Rikishi start low at the Tachiai. Takayasu goes in with the Nodowa, but Wakatakakage resists and then deftly maneuvers his way into a Morozashi with both arms in Takayasu's pits. Wakatakakage was able to get under Takayasu's center of gravity and muscled back and out of the ring. Yorikiri force out. Takayasu's undefeated streak was demolished by the predator instincts of Wakatakakage sumo. It was brutal. Takayasu had defeat in his eyes and a bit of blood on his face. But both Rikishi, at this point, are now tied for the lead.
Yeah, this was a bloody week for the Basho.
Oh, yeah, it really was.
A lot of people got all smashed up. Well, then day 13, he goes up against Mitake Yumi. The drama of the Yusho keeps progressing. Waka looked a bit nervous, and Mitake Yumi was poised and confident. Mitake Yumi scooped in low at the Tachiai and immediately got under Wakatakakage's center of gravity. He drove Wakataka forward, damn near effortlessly, really, all the way to the bales. Wakatakakage attempted to defend, perched atop the Tawara, but Mitake Yumi forcefully undulated him off of his perch. Waka looked to wrap a leg around Mitake Yumi as he was about to fall over, but
it was moot.
It was it wasn't gonna work,
Yeah.
guy. But
Moot point.
Takayumi just manhandled Wakatakakage and came out with a Yorikiri win, slowing down Wakatakakage's rampage through the tournament a
He
bit.
did just rampage through the whole thing.
He was. He just kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, at the beginning of the week, everybody was like, oh, look at Takayasu, and then here's Wakatakakage. But,
Yeah.
we'll get to that. Actually, on day 15,
He did continue his rampage.
Wakatakakage continued his rampage on day 14, besting the Ozeki Takakeisho. Ooh, but day 15. Holy shit, day 15. We'll come back to day 15 for Wakatakakage in just a bit. For now, let's see how Ura has fared.
Oh.
You want to tell us about Ura on day 11?
Yeah, so Ura did kind of bad this tournament, but I still love the man. He's still one of my favorite Rikishi.
He's so fun to watch, whether he's winning or losing. He's just such an interesting fighter. He's so
definitely.
creative and inventive in the way that he fights. And that's what makes him just so
acrobatic,
captivating.
flashy.
Yeah.
And that pink Mawashi, I love it.
Oh, yeah, and the pink Mawashi for sure.
All right, so Ura, day 11 versus Tamawashi. This was over in an instant. Ura, of course, starts low at the Tachi, but is scooped up by Tamawashi, going in for thrust to the shoulders. Ura goes low, but Tamawashi locks his arm and uses his and Ura's centrifugal force to launch him into a somersault off the lip of the doyo. That looked like that shit hurt. Like, seriously, Tamawashi just flipped Ura off and then into the crowd. The crowd was murmuring. Everyone was like, oh my god, damn.
Ura is always just getting flung into the crowd.
But Tamawashi's face, he just looked really pissed and aggressive, and I don't know. But that really was some...
He had a demon in him.
some Viking-ass berserker sumo from fucking Tamawashi. So Ura's struggling, and between COVID, being at a career high point as Ishiyora 1, he's just being put into the grinder. So he's gonna tumble down the ranks. Hopefully he'll start a journey back to the Sanyaku ranks and pick his way back to the top.
Right, this is still experience for him. This is good experience for him.
Definitely.
So, part of being a champion at something, part of winning is failing.
Yeah.
You have to do something wrong a few times before you can finally learn how to do it right. Depending on what the thing is, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. And, it's just going to take, a few losses, a few crap, and everyone's going to have some crappy tournaments every now and again. It was just his day. And speaking of people having a crappy tournament.
Are we going to talk about day 13, Ura versus Mesa?
Yeah.
Yeah, these poor guys. They kind of fought like they were just really tired and didn't feel good.
I know.
They went at it a bit, but Meisei's undulating attacks couldn't budge Ura with his low stance. They probed and parried each other's attacks, but Meisei went in for an outside left, and Ura used the opportunity to get inside. He looked like he was going to administer a Kataskashi, but slipped through Meisei's arms, who looked visibly confused.
He was like, huh?
That was actually kind of funny.
Yeah.
Seriously, though, Ura slipped out, and Meisei was like, oh, what happened? Where'd he go? You could see him, looking around,
Just, huh?
Where's my opponent? Where's Ura? And then Ura, in a very goat-like fashion, pummels Meisei out for an Okuridashi victory.
That
just
series-
kind of rams him with his head.
It was very
out of the
goatly.
ring.
Very goatly. All
Very
right.
goatly indeed.
So we had day 14 versus Ishiyora. Ura versus Ishiyora. And he's having a bad one. He's still smiling and being polite to those he crashes into when he's unceremoniously dumped from the doyo. But this tournament has just not been very nice to him, despite him being seemingly still in good spirits. Ishiyora launches himself with a bunny hop at the Tachi. Ura, of course, stayed low and went to grasp under Ishiora's arm, but Ishiora's defense was just too good. He managed to get the Morozashi underarm grasp on Ura and pushed him to the bales, and then finished him with the left outside grip and drove him out. Both Rikishi are having a dumpy tournament, but Ishiyora did look grateful for this win.
Yeah, Ishiora, why don't you take your genitalia back to Australia?
That's crazy that he was like going to be in like X-Men movies. He was supposed to be in the Wolverine.
Yeah.
And play opposite, what's his face?
Maybe he should have stuck to movies.
Oh.
No, maybe he can do that like after he retires from sumo or something.
Yeah,
Let him have his time doing his little sumo thing.
Then he'll go back to Australia, make movies.
Hell
being
yeah,
all
dude.
jacked.
Be a fucking Australian movie star. Why the fuck not?
Fuck it. All right, so we have... Oh, the next Rikishi that we followed is a personal favorite of mine, Ichinojo. And he looked a lot more lively this tournament than I've seen him in a long time. He was quick. He had quick reflexes. He's a lot more agile, jumping around than I've seen him in a long time.
Yeah, he doesn't look so much like a Snorlax this time in this particular tournament.
Definitely.
Or the Cranky Baby. Remember how we used to call him Cranky Baby
he did
before we learned all the Rikishi's names?
Yeah. Was like, which one is that? Oh, that's Cranky Baby.
Cranky Baby. There's titties.
Yeah. So Ichinojo, day 11 versus Mesa. Poor Mesa looks like his sore tailbone from the last tournament is haunting
God,
him.
Mesa did so horrible this Basho. I feel kind of bad for him, honestly.
Yeah. Well, for a Rikishi that folks like to liken to Snorlax, Ichinojo was incredibly fast and agile at the Tachiai, slamming into Mesa with his shoulder. He reached for a belt grip, and when it looked like he noticed Mesa was moving backward rather easily, he then just shoved Meisei's corpse out of the ring with a Tsukidashi frontal thrust out.
Yeah, so Meisei really kind of looking bad this tournament. Ichinojo looking pretty good, honestly.
Yeah, definitely.
Then on day 13, he goes up against Hosho.
Hoss.
So Ichinojo has been faster and so much more full of piss and vinegar than I've ever seen him lately. He slammed into Haas at the Tachiai and drove forward without mercy. Hosho attempted to throw him once he was driven to the bales, but Ichinojo plowed forth and crushed Hosho out of the ring. What did you call that move?
It's Abise Taoshi.
Abise
Abise
Tayoshi.
Backward force down.
I don't know why I said that with like an Irish accent. Abise Tayoshi.
All right, so at Sumo Punx, we are defenders of the Shoudai.
Oh, yes.
He's one of us.
Shoudai Defense Force. Right here.
So we did follow Shoudai through this scary and nerve-wracking Basho, for him at least. So we started out day 10 versus Endo. Shoudai was ready for this. I don't know what the hell Endo was trying to do, but it looked like he swung his right leg up like he was going to try and mount Shoudai. He was not willing to put up with any of that kind of bullshit, so he thrusted Endo out of the ring with relative ease, looking more like an Ozeki this bout. Fuck yeah, Shoudai.
Fuck yeah, Shoudai.
Yeah.
Then on day 13, he went up against Kotonowaka. Kotonowaka has got his Kachikoshi by this point, and he's been a bad motherfucker through this whole Basho. Shoudai had a shaky start, kind of, but on day 13 was edging close to a Kachikoshi himself. The only thing that stood in the way was Kotonowaka.
Yeah.
After a brutal slam at the Tachiai, Kotonowaka immediately went for some wicked Nodowa attacks and worked poor Shoudai to the bales. Shoudai teetered on the Tawara, but Kotonowaka got a belt grip and completely dominated Shoudai.
Oh.
Hopefully Shoudai can pull one more victory and keep his Ozeki status. I know he likes to work the anticipation and keep us biting our nails until the very end, so I guess we're just gonna have to see. Maybe see what happens on day 14.
But we'll get to day 14 in a bit.
Yeah, first let's talk about Takayasu.
Papa Bear. I was rooting for Papa Bear this whole thing.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, like around day 6, I was like, oh my god, what's this guy doing? It was a little bit, there were some rough, shaky parts hither and thither, and we will dive right in. So day 10 versus Hoshoryu. This was a grueling battle between two powerhouses. Both have some pretty wicked stamina. Haas worked angles and throw attempts, but Takayasu defended by locking his arms. He swung Haas by his arms looking for a Kotonage, but Haas stayed on his feet. They continued the struggle toward the bales. Haas tried another throw, but Takayasu had a belt grip that wouldn't let him get enough torque. Takayasu pushed Haas out after his stamina ran out, getting a win by Yorikiri.
Then on day 13, he goes up against Takayasu, former Ozeki versus current Ozeki.
Ozekis!
This was a fucking brawl.
Jeez.
So much slapping, so many strikes, hitting, shifting, pivoting, dodging, parrying. This fight was fucking furious. They took turns slapping the ever-living piss out of each other, no-to-wa at each other's necks until bruised, spongy messes, and thrust each other's internal organs with the force of a goat army.
A fucking goat army.
Takayasu got a belt grip on the flailing Takayasu and handed him a textbook Watanage. Between Takayasu's victory here and Wakatakakage's loss to Mitakayumi, looks like Papa Bear is back in the lead for the Yusho on day 13. Oh, but then we have day 14.
Day 14.
Why don't you tell us about day 14?
Day 14, Takayasu versus Shoudai. Oh, goddamn. So, I admit, I went into this bout expecting a completely different outcome. Takayasu has been a kaiju stomping around the ranks, and Shoudai had slowly been building himself back up. The crowd was utterly silent as both Rikishi stared each other down while in Sankyo. The Tachiai had a satisfying smack of meat. Takayasu immediately securing a left-hand outside grip. Shoudai was reaching and struggling to find a right hand inside, but failed. Shoudai repositioned his arms to secure under Takayasu's arms. The two titans swayed in each other's throwing attempts, but Shoudai executed a textbook Sakui Nage beltless arm throw and flung Takayasu to the clay like a glass pipe in the 7-Eleven parking lot. Takayasu beat one Ozeki when he went up against Mitakayumi on day 12, but not this one. Kachi fucking Koshi for Shoudai. Vindication!
Vindication!
Looks like we still have an Ozeki, the Kyushu
yeah,
killer,
Shoudai.
the dour man of the dojo, the goth prince of sumo himself. Shoudai saved his own ass in the most dramatic way possible, keeping us all biting our nails and on the edge of our seats.
Maybe that's his whole shtick.
I'm
Maybe
thinking
that's
so.
why he does sumo the way that he does. Maybe he thinks, oh, I want to be as entertaining for the viewer as possible, so I'm going to constantly be teetering on the edge of losing my Ozeki status.
He does do that.
Well, then we had day 15. That wasn't the end of the drama for Shoudai or Takayasu.
Oh,
They still had one more day to get through. Day 15. And you remember Wakatakakage? What became of him on day 15? Let's find out.
So this has been a very dramatic and suspenseful tournament.
Yes.
It's so much happening, so much on the line, just everything coming down to the wire. And that is how we enter day 15. And adding to the drama is this list of 10 Rikishi that are Nanasho, Nanahai going into day 15.
That's 7 and 7. 7 wins, 7 losses.
Dai Eisho, Aoyama, Shimano Umi, Kotokuzan, Yutakayama, Ichiyamamoto, Tamawashi, Indo, Hoshoryu, and Abi. All 7 and 7.
Yes, Daisho actually won his Kachikoshi against Aoyama. And Aoyama just looked exhausted after 15 days of battling into the tournament with a Makikoshi.
Yeah. Shimano Umi wins his Kachikoshi against Kotokuzan. And Kotokuzan got his Makikoshi against Shimano Umi.
Yep, Yutakayama, very energetic Tachiai, but Hokuto Fuji still ended up handing him his Makikoshi. Then Ichiyamamoto looked so relieved to win against the Juryo visitor Hiranomi for his Kachikoshi.
Tamawashi very aggressive against Endo, but not focused enough to avoid Makikoshi. Endo wins his Kachikoshi on day 15 against Tamawashi.
Yep, then Hosho
Haas
finally gets his Kachikoshi against Kotonowaka, who looked pissed about it. Kotonowaka had been a potential frontrunner there for a while, along with Takayasu and Wakatakakage, but into the tournament at 11-4.
Yeah, that face right after he lost, I was just like, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Abi.
Abi, things got kind of bloody when he went up against Wakatakakage on day 10. Didn't win that one.
Nope.
But not a show, not a high. As of day 15, when he goes up against
Dun, dun, dun.
Takayasu.
Ooh. All right, so cue the Star Wars music. All right, the battles of opposing fates. The two frontrunners, Takayasu and Wakatakakage, start day 15 at 12-2.
Both have 12 wins and 2 losses. First up, Takayasu versus Abi. On day 15, Abi is 7-7. Not a show, not a high. Walking a tightrope with Kachikoshi on one side and Makekoshi on the other. Going up against one of the frontrunners of the tournament, Takayasu. As they launch into the Tachiai, Abi's speed is greater than Takayasu's. He's giving Takayasu a blizzard of Nadawa attacks. Takayasu then attempts to dodge, but just gets turned around. That's when Abi used his long tentacular
His noodly
arms
appendages.
to push him down and out. Abi gains his Kachikoshi, and Takayasu ends the bout at 12-3.
12-3, and it's so everyone is at this point anticipating the bout between Wakatakakage and Shodai. Mm-hmm. And
Because remember, they were both at 12-2 up to this point. Now Takayasu is 12-3. What's going to happen with Wakatakakage?
and Shodai. Everyone has been really down on Shodai, but he had been making a comeback. It was great. So this is what happened. Wakatakakage versus Shodai. With Takayasu's defeat at the orangutanian limbs of Abi, Wakatakakage had a chance to steal the win for the entire tournament. There was only one thing standing in his way. Shoudai. The Ozeki's first week of the Basho had been embarrassingly lackluster, but then, as the midpoint of the Basho neared, he started to liven up, and had been doing pretty good so far during the second week. Evenly matched at the Tachiai, they each struggled for dominance. After some deft maneuvering, Wakatakakage goes for a belt grip as Shoudai defends. Shoudai is able to push Wakatakakage back to the bales, which is when Wakatakakage goes for a Shitatanage underarm throw. But Shoudai sees what his foe is going for, kicks Wakatakakage's leg away, knocking him off balance and pushing him out. Shoudai ends the tournament at 9-6, maintaining his Ozeki position.
Yeah.
And Wakatakakage is now at 12-3, same as Takayasu. Shoudai delivers Wakatakakage for the showdown.
Oh my god. Takayasu versus Wakatakakage. Do do do.
All right.
Okay, so obviously they had to have a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to describe the excitement of this match, or do you want me to go for it?
I'll do it.
You want to do it?
I'll do it.
All right. You tell those people. You tell them what happened. Go for it.
The Osaka Prefectural Gymnasium is silent as the two Rikishi mount the dojo. As they go through their pre-bout rituals, the silence is broken by approving applause from the crowd as Takayasu does his famous power flex. They square up, and then bam! Takayasu bursts out at the Tachiai at full throttle, bashing Wakatakakage with the shoulder, thrusting him off to the side. Wakatakakage recovers instantly, and they both lock up, jockeying for the superior position. Wakataka goes for a slap down, and they both dance around in circles as Takayasu resists the pressure Waka is putting on the back of his head. They exchange a volley of slaps and thrusts and attempted grips. Wakataka tries for one more slap down, but ends up getting pushed back to the bells by a charging Takayasu. Waka braces himself, only to be elbowed in the face, knocking him backwards. As he loses his balance, he grabs Takayasu's arm, steadying his balance just long enough to reach for Takayasu's belt with his right hand and pull with all of his might, pulling himself upright and sending Takayasu flying out of the ring. Uwatadashinage, pulling overarm throw. Wakatakakage defeats Takayasu, winning the Emperor's Cup, the first from Fukushima in 50 years. Takayasu looks a bit sullen in his post-match interview, but he still walks away with the Fighting Spirit prize.
That was some fucking excitement.
That was some fucking
that was
drama.
Amazing. Oh my God.
Just watching it was just, oh my God, what are they doing?
Right there on the edge, when you see Wakatakakage and he's leaning backwards and he grabs onto Takayasu's arm to try to pull himself forward and ends up pulling Takayasu out of the ring at the same time.
Just grab that Mawashi.
Saving himself and dooming Takayasu.
I really wanted Papa Bear to win. I really did.
Well, at the same time, though, Wakatakakage just kind of came out of nowhere. I don't think anybody was expecting that.
It was an exciting fucking tournament. I haven't been that excited and just on the edge of my seat in a tournament since I first started watching sumo. And, you know, for a while when it's Terano Fuji or Hakuho, you're like, oh, they're going to win again. Whenever, you know, those guys are out of the picture, it's anybody's fucking game. And that just raised my blood pressure.
That's why I like it when the Yokozuna decides to fucking bounce in the middle of the tournament, because it's almost like it's more exciting then. You know, you have the other Rikishi who actually have a chance to win.
Yeah, it's just
if the Yokozuna's gone, in a lot of cases.
It's kind of like they're just giving the rank and filers a good churn and seeing who comes out on top.
Exactly. Sometimes I wonder if they plan it that way.
I think, like, whenever they're planning the matches, you know, I think they're taking into account, ooh, what's going to stir up the most shit.
Well, yeah, obviously. I'm talking about, like, what if behind the scenes someone's like, oh, Terano Fuji, I think you should mysteriously injure yourself on day 7.
Oh, you think that they're doing, like, some WWE stuff?
Maybe.
Is Hakaku really Vince McMahon? Oh, my God. Does that make... Okay, who's Triple H now?
Oh,
Is
Jesus
Takami Sakari
Christ.
Triple H? Oh my God. I'm going to be thinking hard about this now.
Okay, which WWE wrestlers would each Rikishi be? What would Ura be?
Oh my God, he'd be, oh God, what's that guy's name? Daniel Bryan.
You know, Takayasu kind of reminds me of The Rock sometimes, but way hairier.
Yeah, I could kind of see that.
Do you see it?
I see it.
He's got, I don't know, he's got the same kind of eyes, I think.
Yeah, the eyes and eyebrow kind of inflections. Can you inflect an eyebrow? I think so.
Yeah, sure, why not? You know, they speak their own language. The eyebrows.
Mine do, yeah.
Yes. Your eyebrows are constantly screaming at me. It's kind of sexy.
They're like caterpillars. They're really, I got mad scientist eyebrows. It's great. So we were playing the fantasy sumo, and
I have to recommend that fantasy sumo isn't all it's cracked up to be. Maybe people shouldn't be playing this game because
I don't like this game. I don't want to play it no more.
Board flip.
So I ended at 55. Sabrina ended.
Don't say it.
I'm going to say it.
Don't say it.
Do you want to say it?
It's the same as my age.
Oh, it's okay.
Don't say it.
We're not going to say it. It's okay.
Don't say it. Don't even remind me about it.
It's that bad.
But I still recommend nobody ever play this game.
It's fun.
Because
it's awesome. Ari got 56.
It will make you feel like such a loser, and only nerds play it. So
it's great. It's so fun.
You're better off going and playing D&D or something if you want a little bit of fantasy in your life. Or, you know, go try out Bondage. I don't know. You're looking for some fantasy, go find a dominatrix.
So we also wanted to give a shout out to the Women's Invitational National Sumo Tournament.
The wins?
The wins. Congrats to all the participants in the wins tournament. It was March 26, 2022 in San Antonio. There's video.
There's two.
Well,
There's
videos.
two streams.
So one stream is from Dark Circle Sumo with Justin Kizzard, and the other is the Lone Star Sumo channel with Caleb Backus. Mm-hmm. Links in the description if you want to check them out. There were some damn good matches, some pretty brutal moves, some throws, some tachi-eyes. All right, so
Yep.
If you read the winners, In lightweight, we have...
In third place, Eri Midorikawa of Dark Circle Sumo. She's pretty vicious from what I saw.
Vicious.
In second place, we have Quetzal Lopez of Mighty Eagle Sumo. She recently appeared on Grand Sumo Breakdown's coverage of U.S. Sumo.
Yeah.
And then in first place, we have Jessica Hopper of Mighty Eagle Sumo. She is currently the only female black belt in amateur sumo in the U.S. And this also marks her triumphant return to the dojo after the birth of her child, who was coincidentally born while the 2021 North American Sumo Championship raged on.
Exact same day.
Exact same day.
All right, so the heavyweight division, there were 2 contenders. Second place, Beatrice Haven of Dark Circle Sumo. Great form, great tachi. First place, Nicole Burgess of Mighty Eagle Sumo. She is also the 2021 Texas State Sumo Champion.
Yep. Then in the open weight division, third place goes to Esty from Dark Circle Sumo. We couldn't quite catch her last name. We're very sorry about that, but this is actually her second tournament. And she is doing pretty badass, honestly. If anybody wants to correct us, please just let
tell
us know. We definitely don't want to fuck up anybody's names, and we mean no disrespect.
Yeah.
Then in second place, there was Nicole Burgess of Mighty Eagle Sumo. And first place, Beatrice Haven of Dark Circle Sumo. Congratulations to all who participated.
Yay!
Woo! What are some of the upcoming events?
Some of the upcoming events that are coming up is going to be...
I know there's the Japanese Spring Festival at the Fort Worth Botanical Gardens. What is the date for that?
That is going to be Saturday, April the 23rd. I believe the entire thing starts at 10 o'clock. Not quite sure what the schedule is for sumo, but it's going to be a lot like
Dallas
what
Sumo
happened.
Club is going to be there.
Yeah. It's going to be a lot like what we did at the Fall Festival.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's going to be lots of fun. Then we have, so that's going to be in Texas. Outside of Texas, Friday, April 22nd is FitCon in Utah. Mm-hmm. That is going to be when the Sumo Nationals happen. So, for folks that want to come check out sumo for the first time, a lot of us from the Dallas Sumo Club aren't really going to be able to make it out to Nationals. And if we did, it'd just, be as spectators. So we're going to probably just stick around home. But if you have the chance to go to Utah, go to Utah. There's a lot of people that have fundraised to get out there. There's going to be a whole lot of fucking people nationally known all over the country, converging in this one spot. It's going to be a badass fucking tournament.
And if you see anybody's fundraisers online, donate to them.
Donate!
Hotel rooms ain't cheap.
Yeah. And then, speaking of FitCon, Saturday, June 11th is going to be FitCon Texas in Fort Worth. That's at the Panther Island Pavilion, 395 Percy Street. And
PIP, Panther Island Pavilion?
Yeah.
The PIP.
The PIP.
Hopefully there aren't a lot of plague spikes in the coming
For
months
real,
to
seriously.
keep us from enjoying all this good sumo that's about to happen.
I just want it to end, please.
Get vaccinated, wear your mask. That's our show. Thanks for listening. You can find us on the Interbutts at... Where are we at on the Interbutts?
We're on Instagram at Sumo Punx. We are on Facebook. You just look up Sumo Punx, always with an X.
I can't believe I forgot the word Instagram. We're also on Twitter at
Punk Sumo.
because I fucked up the Twitter accounts.
But fuck it, it works. You could either look up Sumo Punx or Punk Sumo. I checked it out, and we pop up under both. So
I am also planning on opening a Redbubble shop so that I can make Sumo Punx t-shirts. So keep an eye out for that. Might even be a Patreon soon. We'll let you know.
yeah, we're gonna do all kinds of gross and dirty
We're
things.
taking over the internet. Yeah, mostly just because we're poor and it costs a little bit of money to do shit like this.
Yeah.
But that's our show. Hope you enjoyed it.
Bye.